used to like your music, but you treat your fans like shit.
Dude, literally suck. You act like I have some responsibility to be like babying people and treating people like stupid, but they're not stupid. That's why I yell at them. Somebody coming in here being like, you're ugly as when you're bald. That's my fan? You're so misguided. You act like I'm saying my fans are, it's like you're hearing me say that out of my mouth when I never did. There's a lot of people I don't like who I listen to their music. If I knew them, I probably wouldn't like them. I'm not your friend. I make music and you like it. And if you don't, cool, great. I don't give a. I'm not doing it so that you like me. I'm doing it because it's fun. I love my fans. I wouldn't have this painting in front of me if it wasn't for my fans. I wouldn't have food on my table. I wouldn't have my house if it wasn't for my fans. I would have a home, but I wouldn't have this house probably. But I'm not giving them all the credit because I do work my ass off, so.
Hey y'all, what's up? So yes, a couple of things before I go ahead and get started with this video. One, no, this is not another Doja Cat conspiracy theory video talking about she's possessed and the devil inside. No, and if that's why you click this, you can click off because I'm not about to give you that kind of an opinion because I do think that some of the conspiracy claims surrounding Doja Cat are wild. Two, the comments on this video are off, and that's to simply prove a point to the audience, because to be honest, the reason why I entitled this video Doja Cat isn't wrong is because I feel like on a very obviously on a lower level, I understand where she's coming from, even if it is just controversy, okay? And so you can watch to the end if you care to hear my point, and if not, it doesn't affect me either way, right? And then the next thing is I'm going to link Blackie Speaks video and his opinion on the Doja Cat controversy, only because he always is covering the music industry, different controversies, different, things that are happening on social media. Even I had to go and like Google her Twitter and like, look up screenshots or whatever, because I don't have Twitter anymore. I've been without it for several months already. And it's been amazing. But obviously for videos like this, I still need to like look and peek. And he did a really good job. And I feel like his video is very balanced in his opinion. Blackie Speaks always comes from a place of nuance, and he often will say like, hey, I don't have to be 100% right about this. You don't have to necessarily agree with me, etc., etc., etc. And I love that, because I feel like for situations like this, you need nuance because there is not much being had. So I'll go ahead and I'll link his video in my description, and we can always catch up on a later date. I'll be turning my comments on for following videos, but the reasons why my comments for this video are going to be off is to really prove a point to the general audience. I've seen over time how Doja Cat has been lashing out to her followers, telling people to unfollow her, saying that, she's, better off without them, or, looking down upon them or whatever. That's her right. People do not owe us anything. Right or wrong, however you may personally view it, she is within her right to come on and speak however she wants to speak, feel however she wants to feel. And if she does genuinely dislike a good portion of her following, that's her right. She doesn't have to even engage her following. I get very annoyed because my thoughts and my opinions and just my observations for several things, even from a more personal standpoint, have changed, because I hate when people say, oh, well, we're the ones that built her up. We're the ones paying her bills and her rent, so she owes us respect. And it's so crazy how over the years that very point of view can drastically change, because I've done videos where I necessarily would not agree with people lashing out their audience or their followers or whatever. But to be honest, a lot of times when I have said that before, I was coming from more of a place at the time, because with the type of content that I used to cover on this channel, my channel was still small, and I was coming from a place of, oh, well, if I had the larger following and if I did this, I would, be wanting to give my followers and my audience everything. And clearly, like, I've learned several lessons on a personal level that you cannot do that. Especially if you're a person that has like lived your life on this platform, or maybe you've overshared. And I have admitted to oversharing and how that has truly like bit me in the behind. You can't even be too transparent, especially online, because even your own truth, your own existence, your own well-being will be weaponized against you. You can be as transparent as you want to. You can be the most honest person. You can be the most people-pleasing person. You can lack almost all boundaries with yourself, and it can be very dangerous, because you're gonna have people who are going to want to weaponize that against you and just use you as some type of plaything and make a mockery of you, and I don't know, build whole platforms around you as a way to mock you and dehumanize you and demean you. And your very audience members that you're trying to people please to and cater to will be the same ones to throw that dagger in your back. Especially the ones to when you set a boundary and they go and they lose their minds on Twitter, or they go and they start, channels, and it's like, oh, well, I used to support her and now I hate her so much, and now every single video is about how, they hate you so much. And it's really crazy how I like I say, I tell you guys all the time, like things really do come and go in cycles, because I remember watching Doja Cat. I remember the moo I'm a cow type thing, and I always thought that she was like a troll. And so when Doja Cat first came onto the internet and started really building up her platform and I guess rising to fame, I always thought she was a troll. I low-key just started taking Doja Cat more seriously these last couple of years because I've been vibing with her music a little bit more, right? Because I used to just not take her seriously, but as her image changed and everything like that, I'm like, okay, this is more relatable. And then, to be honest, I understood why she came into the industry saying, the most obnoxious things and kind of trolling to get controversy, to get the attention, and to just say that I'll be different. And plus, how many people have started out their, online careers trolling, being stupid, being goofy, whether it really benefits them or not, right? A lot of people do it just to gain traction, and then when they are ready to get serious, that's when they totally rebrand and all of that stuff, right? And that's also not necessarily wrong. That's just a personal choice, right? And because I understand the personal choice, I'm not gonna condemn her for it, okay? And so when I see her, on some of the live streams that I've seen, because it's even been on like my TikTok feed, just like random Doja Cat popping off. And to be honest, like when I'm watching her pop off, I'm like, I'm not offended. Now, of course, I don't, consider myself a Doja Cat super fan, but I would say that I support her to some extent. I don't follow all of her socials, but I enjoy her music, and when she drops something new, I enjoy it. Cape Town Red, I like that music video. I understand that some people are upset, and the whole conspiracy theorists around the video has demonic imagery and she is trying to all to hell with her. And it's just like, I have never been that deep down anybody's rabbit hole to where I think that, because sometimes things really aren't that deep, because at the end of the day, everything is artistic expression, in my opinion. And perhaps maybe she's burying a dark part of her, or maybe she's showcasing a dark part of her because she's being villainized heavily right now in the media. Black Ink Speaks mentions this in his video, and all it did was remind me of Lil Nas X and his music video where he was like, twerking on the devil, and that caused all kinds of controversy, and how Lil Nas X has been demonized in the media and highly discriminated against because he's an openly gay male, and openly gay black male at that too. So the stigma's even worse for him. And I understand that, I get that, and I never thought that his response to the media, or even how he's portrayed himself, or even how he's, when he hasn't necessarily rebranded, but re-portrayed his image. I've never condemned him for that either, because it's his right. I think that the audience, the general audience, just people in general, one thing that is for sure that has been proven, and we will talk about this more on my channel, is that people are dumb. The nuanced, balanced argument, seeing the bigger picture, understanding both sides, regardless of who you agree or disagree with, it is unfortunately becoming less and less prevalent in our everyday society. And that is a goddamn problem. For me personally, I used to have the emotions of, the reaction community that I used to be a part of. I felt like that was very prevalent there. Herd mentality and, crabs in the bucket mentality, people trying to tear other people down and try to get ahead, and the whole rat race type thing. I used to think that it was just that community in particular, but no, this mindset is everywhere in life. And so it's up to you as an individual to think for yourself, be yourself, witness, observe. Don't get overly attached, especially the people who you've never met on the internet. And if you want to be a stan account, that's fine, that's cute. But understand that people have their own minds, their own ways of thinking, their own personalities, their own complexities that make them who they are. And it is their right to feel however they want to feel, even if you don't agree with it. Your fifis are not important.
I'm not your friend. I make music and you like it. And if you don't, cool, great. I don't give a. I'm not doing it so that you like me. I'm doing it because it's fun.
I want to talk about this more because it really baffles me. And as a person I've endured a lot on social media. And so those of you who've been around for years can definitely witness the change. And I know that there's many of you who still watch me, regardless of how much you claim you dislike me. If you really dislike me, you wouldn't watch me at all. You wouldn't engage in my content at all. You wouldn't waste your time trying to hate watch someone, because that's stupid. That's a waste of your time. You're not investing your time in something that can better benefit you in the long run, okay? Hate watching is highly immature, and regardless of if you want to admit it or not, that's a level of obsession, okay? And I know that there's a lot of people who recognize this change in my channel who don't like it, because I am no longer bending to the will of the general audience or people's opinions about me. I am not apologizing for being myself. I very much said what I said in numerous instances. And I don't feel the need to, argue, combat, whatever. Because at the end of the day, after really taking a step back and really analyzing where some of the criticisms and things were coming from, none of those people have anything going on in their lives that I want or ever want to be when I do become their age or want to emulate. And I'm on a completely different path. And I see that, I recognize that, I embrace that, and I'm here for that. No one has to understand me. No one has to support me. Whether you support me or not, whether you watch me or not, my content is going to be here. My videos are going to be here. And I very much agree with Doja Cat saying the same thing. Those of you who have been fans of hers, who felt like you partook in building up her platform when she was trolling, and maybe you were still hardcore ride or die for her, whatever it is, and let's just say that I guess you got attached because you felt like you were a part of something, because a lot of things like this happen because the communities that are centered around public figures or people with larger platforms, people feel attached because they feel that sense of community, but it's an illusion. Because at the end of the day, Doja Cat, definitely, yes, she trolled, she, kind of weaponized, well, not weaponized, but she manipulated the media the way she felt she needed to in order to really be seen. And now she's just expressing her artistic image however she wants to, and that's her right. But she still did that by her choice, okay? She could shut everything down right now and go and live a quieter life, and it would not matter how many fans she had, if they still support her or not, or whatever, because she's already established, and a lot of her own decisions came into her establishing her own platform. These toxic, paradoxical, and parasocial communities, and I am speaking as a person I've made these mistakes. I'm not coming as a person that's like talking down on people like, oh, I could never, oh, I would never. No, I have. And I have paid the price for that. But the thing is, when you really see it for what it is, you can stand up and say, never again. You can stand up and say, unfollow me. You can stand up and say, oh no, I'm good without y'all. I'm on a separate path, da, da, da. Or even trying to shake up her community, because I remember seeing one tweet, if I can put up the screenshot, I will right here, where she said she never asked to have stands. I guess they were talking about with the kittens, Doja's kittens or something like that. I don't even know what her fan base calls themselves or whatever. She said she never asked to have a fan base that was like named after her likeness. And to be honest, like, I don't follow her every move. I don't know everything, but that's honest. I don't think I've seen her call her fan base by a name. I think they very much took that upon themselves. And I guess maybe sub-communities that grew around her would maybe, you know, call themselves, you know, a Doja kitten or something like that, you know, to start group chats or, you know, like stan accounts and stuff like that. You know how that stuff gets started. Now, me on the other hand, I've always said the free spirits, because Life of Free Spirit, I mean, it's literally like tatted on my chest. So, you know, I, you know, have always been about being free spirited, being your own person and thinking for yourself, and to not adhere to popular opinion or the crowd, because when you do that, you lack individuality and you don't stand out. The thing about people who try to bow down to public opinion and or herd mentality is their sense of individuality, their own uniqueness gets washed out, because you just kind of blend them in with everybody else and they become less and less unique over time. And the thing about a person who does not bend to herd mentality is they stand out more. Yes, they will get more hate. They will get more people who dislike them and can't stand them. But the thing about that is, at least they still are able to think for themselves. And there is no opinion too small or too large that's going to shake them and make them change into whatever society wants them to be. And I would rather have my individuality. I would much rather have myself than any amount of followers, than any amount of clout, than any amount. I would much rather have my own uniqueness, because I can take myself and go anywhere in this life and make the most of myself at any given moment in time without anyone by my side if I deem it necessary. People are complex. People are not here to bend the will of others. And a lot of times what you're gonna find, especially in these toxic communities and these subgroups, the ones that want to make you bend their will or whatever it is, or whatever the cancel culture it may be, those are the ones that are like the most, I'm gonna say broken, okay? Those are the ones who maybe wrapped a little bit too much of their life around the public person or, you know, the person's platform. Those are the people who probably don't leave their house much. They probably have, you know, so many, you know, dark things going on in their life. They probably have low confidence. They probably are actually severely mentally ill and have become obsessed. And so when people become obsessed with a public person, like how people have become obsessed with Doja, the reason why the fanship or the support is fickle is because obsession borderlines two extremes. Oh, I love them so much. I love everything they do. No, they can't do anything wrong. No. Or the minute they do something that they feel is out of line, I hate them so much, they split them black and white, which is a literal, splitting is a literal symptom of several mental disorders, okay? Like, y'all are giving yourselves mental illness getting all wrapped up in this media stuff. And not thinking for yourself and looking for the next cancel culture. And it really got bad during the pandemic, and I see why. Because the people who weren't leaving their houses, the people who already didn't have much going on, were probably ultimately miserable and spent their time trying to dig up dirt, put things together, go back years, collect live streams and all this. And it's just like, you know what? That's a waste of time. And hey, I've said it before. I probably still have older videos that go back years. I'm like, oh, somebody needs to be canceled. But like, when you grow out of that mentality, it's important to address it, because I definitely don't think that way anymore. And it's been a while, and it's taken me going through my own things to really like reflect and address, I'm not down with this. I could never be down with herd mentality. I will always want to be an individual, and Doja has a right to be an individual. And if she feels like there's a part of her family that's toxic, if she feels like there's a part of her family that are probably losers and don't touch grass enough, if she feels like there's a part of her family that's trying to put her in a box and mold her into what she does not want to be, because she probably deals enough with that in the industry anyway, that's her right. You're not in her shoes. You don't know her personally. And those that do know Doja personally in her real life are probably not going to be the ones tripping on her live stream or tripping on her Twitter account about how she needs to apologize and The ones who know Doja and probably ride with her because they know her. So the online antics or controversy or even her lashing out don't faze them, because they know her. They probably see all sides of it. So that public opinion don't matter. And for some reason, this hurts people's feelings. And even I'm still pinpointing certain things here and there, just from between my personal experience and from observing, just like in the distance and everything. I'm still pinpointing the why. And I do think it borders around obsession, et cetera, but I do feel like it's a little bit deeper than that. But the thing is, like, people just get overly attached to people they don't know, especially on the internet. And one of the reasons why social media has become one of the best and yet quickly becoming one of the worst things that have happened in society, and I was going to say for millennials, but it's actually people of all ages, is because it allows people to get a little bit too close to you if you aren't careful. And I'm sorry, but regardless of who you are in this world, whether you're public or not, your energy is the most important thing in this life. You have to protect your energy. You have to protect yourself, and you have to really guard and watch who and what you are allowing into your energy, and who and what you are allowing to access your energy, because that is priceless. Because what you're going to find is, whether you've invested a lot of positive energy, that can still come back to bite you, like being transparent, being honest, not having anything to hide, good or bad. There are sick people who are predatory, and they want to, build up for your downfall or celebrate your downfall. Or let's say, I've seen it several times where people are expressing emotion, let's say they're crying or whatever, and you're gonna have people who are laughing at that because they're emotionally dead inside. They lack emotional intelligence. And so it feels good for them to pinpoint someone showing emotion, crying, being vulnerable, because they could literally never. And they deem it as a weakness. And because they're so sick inside, they're gonna try and, do anything for that kind of a reaction again. Or let alone like people who are predatory and are watching from the sidelines a person who has a larger platform and want to get close to them in real life just to play with them like a puppet. to gain clout, to gain recognition, to lie and manipulate and you know, steal and sabotage. People are sick. And when you really see it for what it is, it's going to make you not want to engage with anyone's platform. Doja's, mine, whoever else's. It's going to make you want to protect your own energy. Because let's go ahead and keep it a buck. You can have as positive as a community as you want, but the people who are toxic, the people who are really participating in cancel culture, or even the people who do derail chats and get Doja to pop off, it kind of becomes an icky experience. Like, it gives you the ick for people who have just genuine intention and who are just like watching just to vibe. I said this with Shira. Now, I obviously still love and support Shira, and I still see and understand her, you know, with a broader perspective, but I cannot stand when she goes live and she gets those idiots from TikTok over there in her chat, still, months later. And it's like, even I respect the boundary of, you know, whatever she sets her chat to, or when she turns the comments off. I don't take it personally because I understand exactly why and what she's doing, and I open my mind up to that. But not everybody thinks the same. And when you get those hostile people in chat or in those communities, it's like, damn, y'all are annoying, go away. I'd probably say the same thing too. I have said the same thing before. I've always been quick to kick someone out of my community, to block them, never go back, never want them back, never apologize, because people want attention, they want validation. And why are you seeking validation on the internet anyway? Your validation, your emotions become regulated from within. If you are not able to do that by yourself, then you're unhealthy. You're a toxic person. You need to address that. Because there's going to be no community that's going to suit you well. There's going to be no public person that's going to suit you well. You won't even be able to be in the moment and enjoy present things because you're so dysregulated inside. And I've never been afraid to call that out, because why would you want people like that around? Their opinions, their presence is simply not that important. And so people like Doja Cat, people like myself, everybody has a right to put a boundary on their energy and say, no, you don't get to talk to me like that. You don't get to do that. You don't get to say that. You don't get to access my energy anymore because you don't deserve it. I don't deem you worthy. That's fine. That's fine. It's a shame that we live in the type of world that we live in, that's so overly sensitive and overly attached. And I think that it definitely became worse during the pandemic, or maybe people were always like this and maybe social media just accentuated a lot of these issues. But it's a damn shame. And I don't think Doja's wrong for what she said. And then there's always a possibility of her, once again, doing this for controversy to drum up, you know, drama for her music video. Who knows? But at the end of the day, Doja is the one steering Doja's career now and paying Doja's bills. Because mind you, she's not getting paid from the little riffraff on Twitter. She's getting paid from her albums. She's getting that residual income from her royalties and the records and things that she sold, not to mention her collabs, not to mention if she does have any like brand deals or anything like that, or products that she's launching. She has several bags. And the fan base is only a portion of it. But at the end of the day, she is still her own woman. She's still self-made. She has her own decisions. She can shut down her career if she wants to. She can tell all y'all to unfollow and shut down all her socials if she wants to. She can remove her music videos and all that if she wants to. And she can disappear off the face of the earth if she wants to, wishing her well, not wishing harm on her. But you know what I mean? Like going off the grid or something. She can do that if she wants. Freedom of rights, freedom of choice. She's her own person. And a lot of people just don't see or understand that because they've molded so many different images of her in their minds and have projected it onto her. And to be honest, that type of shit gets tiring after a while, to where you really enjoy being your own person and taking a step back and enjoying and basking in your energy and being around the people in real life that matter most. That's what life should be about. But I don't know. I'll probably do like a follow-up where the comments will be on, but I just turned the comments off just to prove a point in this video, just to demonstrate how much it doesn't matter, because I said what I said, period. I'm not gonna go back and apologize for turning off the comments. No, I had something to say. And I said it, and we can discuss later. So, I wish you well. If you watched to the end, let me know in the following video or something. I'll see you guys later. Mwah.